Get started. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is January 20th, the Will County Board Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting, and we're calling it to order. Please, everyone rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Roger, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moment of silence for Chicago Bears.
Yeah. They did very well, getting to where they got to. May I have a roll call, please?
Navarette.
Here.
Karen Warren. Here. Roger Bettenhausen.
Yes.
Mitchell. Yes. John Eaton.
Here.
Chairman Tuesday.
Yes, we have a quorum. I'm going to swear everyone who's going to speak tonight in en masse. So all of you who are going to speak, hopefully you've signed in already. But even if you haven't signed in, please raise your hands. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. I do. I didn't hear I do's. Come on, guys. Thank you very much. One more request. Anyone who has a cell phone, either put it in airplane mode, turn it all the way down, or turn it off. Thank you. We are going to have approval of minutes, the minutes from the hearing of December 2nd, 2025. May I have a motion for approval?
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign? Okay. The next one is a motion for approval for a public hearing of December 16th, 2025.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign? All right. Our first case tonight, first zoning case, will be ZC-25-127. And Jesus Preseno will be our presenter. Nope, not Jesus tonight. Okay. Sorry about that. Alec Van Patten, is that?
Yeah.
Yes, you're the presenter tonight. Thank you.
Okay. So I will be reviewing zoning case ZC-25-127. The owner of this property is John Harkey. The applicant is requesting 2 variances to build a detached garage. Next slide. This image shows a zoning map with the subject property outlined in red. The subject property is zoned A1 with 0.81 acres in area and 243 feet of lot frontage along West Smiley Road. The parcel received approval of a special use permit for remaining A1 and being below 10 acres through 4292-RS2 in 1996. The zoning case stated that it met zoning standards for the lot at this time, so the parcel is deemed a legal non-conforming A1 parcel. Next slide. This is a 2025 aerial of the property. This property is improved with a single-family home and 2 frame sheds. The owner plans to demolish the 2 pre-existing sheds and construct a 30-foot by 40-foot detached garage. The proposed location would encroach on street and side yard setbacks. The applicant is requesting variances to encroach on these required setbacks. Next slide. So this is the plat of survey showing the proposed detached garage outlined in dark gray on there. Next slide. So this is just a picture of the view looking southwest at the subject property from the northeast corner. Next slide. This is view looking at the proposed location of the garage and the side yard setback encroachment. Next slide. This is view looking southeast at the subject property from the northwest corner. Next slide. This is view looking southwest at the adjacent property. Next slide. This is the view looking north across from the subject property. Next slide. This is the view looking west down Smiley Road. Next slide. And then this is the view looking east along Smiley Road. Next slide. So now to go over section 1 in the variances, standards, and review criteria. Staff finds the play of the owner is not due to unique circumstances. The property owner wants to build a detached garage that encroaches into the 100-foot street setback and 50-foot side yard setback for the A1 zoning district. The lot has a special use to be zoned A1 while being less than 10 acres, and during this, it was deemed to meet lot standards at the time. However, any new structures need to meet current zoning standards. Desire to build a detached garage encroaching into setbacks is a personal desire and cannot be considered a unique circumstance. Staff also finds the variance may alter the essential character of the locality. In the surrounding area, there are no parcels that have received approval for a variance for street or yard setbacks. Next slide. Now looking at section 2, staff finds a particular physical surrounding does not result in particular hardship. The hardship does not come from the physical conditions of the property. There are other suitable locations on the property on which a smaller detached garage could be built and meet street and side yard setbacks. Staff finds that the condition which the variance application is based would be generally applicable to other properties. Desire to build a structure encroaching into setbacks can be seen as a common request among A1 zone properties. Lastly, staff finds that granting the variance will not be detrimental to public welfare or improvements in the neighborhood. The detached garage is proposed in the southeast corner of the property, away from any homes or nearby structures. Additionally, the building will be used for personal vehicle storage. Next slide. So staff is recommending denial for both variances.
Thank you. Yes, go ahead, John. You have a question.
So your first point was that it is possible to put the building there, but if I'm looking at the math right, that building almost would have to be in the exact center.
Yeah, it would have to be in the center and
Technically, the
a lot
lot
smaller.
is kind of really restricted.
Yes, technically it is, restricting for
The
what they are
100-foot
proposing.
setback in the sides and that, they would have to put it. Okay, yeah. All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you very much. Are there any objectors or concerned citizens to this case here tonight? There are not? Okay. May I have the owner or primary contact come up, please? Would you please come up to the podium? I know the staff has advised you that this isn't going to fly according to county rules. So I presume that you have a reason why you wanted to situate it where you have it. Would you please state your name for the records and then give us your reason?
John Harkey, want to put it there because it doesn't have a garage, and I've always had a garage in any house I've ever lived in. I don't understand why there isn't one there anyway. But I would like to have one there. I went through the process with them and say, hey, what can we put it on the other side? But then there's a couple big concrete old bins
Foundation.
there that are in the way, and I'm like, well, I can't put it there. I was under the advice when I bought the place that it was grandfathered in and I could build it, and then I found out it wasn't. So I was like, wow, this isn't good. But it was past the attorney's review before I could get out of it. So I would still like to live there and build myself a nice garage, but without a garage, I can't do it. I have to rent it or sell it.
Okay. Anyone have any questions? Nobody questioning? Okay. Would you? Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Mr. Chairman, ZC 25-127, V 25-172, given no objections from the public, I would approve for a motion for approval for variance for street setback from 100 feet to 42.2 feet.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. May I have a roll call, please?
Mary Mitchell. Yes. John Kiefner.
Yes,
Roger Bettenhausen.
Yes.
Louis Navarette.
Yes.
Karen Warwick. Yes. And Chairman Houston.
Yes.
in the same case, variance 25-173, approve a variance for side yard setback east side from 50 feet to 17 feet.
Second.
I have a motion second. May I have a roll call?
Kimberly Mitchell. Yes. John Kiefner.
Yes,
Roger Bettenhausen.
Yes.
Louis Navarette.
Yes.
Karen Warwick. Yes. And Chairman Houston.
Yes, you've passed, sir.
you get your garage.
Next case tonight is ZC 25-086/V 25-119. And Kelly Krasinski will be our presenter. Good evening.
Good evening. Okay, so this is ZC 25-086. The owner of the property is Khalid Gabin and the agent is Yusuf DC. The owner is requesting a variance for rear yard setback from 50 feet to 24.92 feet. Here the property is outlined in yellow. The parcel is located in Crete Township along Exchange Street. It is zoned A1 with 19.72 acres. The subject property received a complaint on June 12, 2025 regarding a structure built without a permit. The applicant had submitted a building permit for the structure that was built without a permit, and upon review, zoning found that the structure encroached on the rear yard setback. Here the property is outlined in red. The subject property is zoned A1 and is surrounded by A1 and R1 residential zoning. Here is a platted survey of the property showing the existing structures. The structure constructed without a permit can be shown outlined in red. This structure encroaches on the rear yard setback. And based on conversations with the applicant, this building is used just for storage. This is a view looking west along Exchange Street. This is a view looking north across from the subject property.
Good evening.
This is looking east along Exchange Street. This is looking southwest towards the location of the structure from Exchange Street. This is looking south at the subject property from Exchange Street. This is looking at the residents on the property. This is looking at the existing buildings on the property. These are some more existing buildings on the property. This is looking north at Exchange Road from the center of the parcel. And then finally, this is looking southeast at the structure located that's encroaching on the rear yard setback. Oh, I have more images. This is another aerial image of the rear yard or the rear structure that's encroaching on the rear yard setback. And the property line is shown outlined in blue. Okay. A full analysis of the variance standards and review criteria can be found in the staff report. But for a summary of section 1, staff finds that the owner is not due to unique circumstances. The accessory structure was built without a permit and encroaches on the required 50-foot rear setback. Had the owner applied for a permit, they would have been informed of the setback requirement. Staff does not view lack of knowledge of the rules as a hardship. Granting the variance may alter the essential character of the area. No nearby properties have similar setback encroachments or variances. However, the structure is mostly hidden from public view, which would reduce visual impact. For section 2 of the variance review criteria, staff finds no hardship. The structure could have been built elsewhere on the property and the issue arose because the owner built without a permit. The conditions are not unique compared to other A1 parcels. Staff finds the variances will not be detrimental to the public welfare or surrounding properties. The owner is working on the building permit and will be required to comply with all applicable codes. Of agencies notified, there were no comments or objections received. Staff is recommending denial for the variance of the rear yard setback. I'm happy to answer any questions for you, and the applicant is also here tonight as well.
What remediation would you offer for the applicant? Just a smaller building?
To comply?
Mhm.
I mean, I think the main thing with this one is, I can pull up the aerial view of the parcel, but the parcel is almost 20 acres. So it's pretty large, so they have a lot of space to meet setback requirements. Then it, for the rear yard and the side yard would be 50 feet. So they have a lot of room to meet that 50 feet. So it really, kind of building without a permit the encroachment kind of came from that,
Okay.
without knowledge of needing the 50-foot setback.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Did you say the applicant is trying to get a building permit?
Correct. They have a building permit submitted.
Does that affect our decision here tonight? What if they can't get the building permit?
Yeah, so they're working on the building permit right now. Let's say if this were to be approved, then zoning would be able to sign off on the permit. Let's say this variance is denied, then zoning would not be able to sign off on this permit until they move the structure to be located meeting setbacks. So they'd be required to meet that 50-foot setback and move the structure. So
So you need variance before they get the building.
to leave it where it is, yes.
Any other questions? Thank you very much, Kelly. Do we have any concerned citizens or objectors to this case tonight? We do not, okay. May I hear from Mr. Yosef Disi? Are you the contact? Okay. Good evening, sir. Please state your name for the record and then tell us why you want to put it where it is.
Okay, my name is Yusuf DC. I'm speaking on behalf of Mr. Khalid Gabin. Okay, unfortunately, the contractors who built that barns at that location failed to build within the plat survey. You know, so we did not know any thing about the variance between the front, the back, whatever it is. So we were shocked when we found that barn was not built properly, because it's actually a slab of concrete and the top of it is just plastic, you know,
Yes.
that's the arc. The only thing we can do is just to remove the whole thing, the arc and the plastic. Otherwise, unless when it has no effect on people. We put hay, all these equipments, for the farm itself. So no animals, even nobody can even get close to that area, because this is also a flooded area. So we just only for storage, And unfortunately, as I said, the contractor who took a lot of money, almost like $500,000 to build all these barns, he failed to, fulfill the, the specification of the city of Joliet, whatever it is. They should have known better, just building something like that costs $200,000 or $150,000, building it wrong. So we were shocked as well. We didn't know anything about the variance to begin with.
Okay, I understand.
And the only thing we may just disassemble it, or just, it has no effect on people, whatever it is. That's up to you guys, appreciate your help.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
You get a building permit?
No, no, because it was supposed to be included within the other three barns that were built at that time.
Those plans are included with the other bonds that were.
They were supposed to be, but we didn't know that because when we did the contract, okay, the plat of survey, we had, it included that barn as well. But the plat of survey was, sent to the city of Joliet, was not included. That's when you have the aerial image on it, it showed on that property that was built. But unfortunately, we didn't have any, faint idea that that was built illegal or illegal, the building.
Is it on a slab? You said it's on a cement slab,
That's a big cement slab there, that's it.
so it's not movable.
No,
Thank you.
thank you, ma'am.
On case number ZC 25-086/V 25-119, may I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, case ZC 25-086 for variance V 25-119, variance for rear yard setbacks from 50 feet to 24.92 feet to bring structure into compliance.
I have a motion and a second. May I have a roll call, please?
John Kipinger,
Abstain.
Kimberly Mitchell. Yes. Roger Bettenhausen,
Yes.
Louis Navarette.
Yes.
Gary Warwick. No. And Chairman Houston.
Yes.
4-1, one abstain.
Okay. You passed that one by. We have one more to go. No, that's right. That's all one case, pardon me. Yeah, you pass. Minimum pass, but you pass.
Yeah, and to clarify, Mr. Chairman, I'll be abstaining from this next vote as well.
Okay. Next case is ZC 25-099/V 25-137. And Jesus Preseno will be our presenter. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Yes, I'll be going over zoning case 25099. The owner of the property is Brittany Kaup, and the applicant is requesting a variance to bring the constructed pole barn into compliance. Okay, here we have a quick zoning map of the property with the subject property outlined in red. Subject property is zoned A1 with 5.14 acres in area and 482 feet of lot frontage along Schoolhouse Road. The property received approval of a variance for minimum lot area through zoning case 21099 in 2022, and the property is deemed a conforming A1 parcel. Here we have an aerial view of the subject property, again outlined in red. The property is improved with a single-family home, a frame shed, and a pole barn. The owner was placed in violation for building a second pole barn on the property without obtaining a building permit. The property owner submitted an after-the-fact agricultural exempt permit in November of 2024. As staff reviewed the plat of survey submitted as part of the building permit, it was discovered that the pole barn was built encroaching onto the required 50-foot rear setback. The applicant is requesting the variance to bring the pole barn into compliance and allow the zoning department to approve the pending building permit. Here we have a plat of survey of the property showing the built pole barn in kind of the darker outline at the top of the screen. Here we have some few pictures of the property. First, the view looking east at the subject property. Here we have the view looking at the pole barn that was built that encroaches into the rear setback. Here we have the view looking at the northeastern portion of the property. Here we have the view looking south at the southeastern portion of the property. We have the view looking west at the adjacent property across Schoolhouse Road. And the view looking north down Schoolhouse Road. Now to quickly go over the variance standards and review criteria. Staff finds that the plight of the owner is not due to unique circumstances. The property owner built a pole barn that encroaches into the required 50-foot setback for the A1 zoning district. Although the property owner submitted an agricultural exempt building permit, ag exempt permits are still required to adhere to the zoning district setbacks. The desire to build a pole barn encroaching into the required setbacks is a personal preference and cannot be considered a unique circumstance. Staff also finds that the variance may alter the essential character of the locality. In the surrounding area, there were no parcels found that have received approval of a variance for rear yard setback. Staff also found that the particular physical surroundings does not result in a particular hardship. The hardship does not come from the physical conditions of the property. There are other suitable locations on the property on which the pole barn could have been built, meeting the 50-foot required rear yard setback. Staff finds that conditions on which this variance application is based would be generally applicable to other properties. The desire to build a structure encroaching into setbacks can be seen as a common request among A1 zoned properties. And lastly, staff finds that the granting of the variance will not be detrimental to the public welfare or improvements in the neighborhood. The pole barn was constructed on the far southeast corner of the property, away from any homes or nearby structures. As mentioned before, the property owner is and will continue to use the building for agricultural purposes. With that said, staff is recommending denial of the variance, and staff did not receive any comments from any agencies, and I'm happy to answer any additional questions.
I presume that this owner, and I suppose I have to ask the owner the question, but I presume this owner thought that because they were exempt in A1 exemption, that they didn't have any restrictions on where they built. Is that what your surmise is, or the correct?
Yes, so as mentioned, the property owner built the structure without a building permit. It was only after it was placed in violation that she came in for the building permit, and that's when she applied for the agricultural exempt permit.
Okay.
And I don't believe the applicant is here, but you can maybe ask. Okay, perfect. So yeah, probably a better idea to ask the property owner.
Okay. Is there any other question from anyone? Thank you very much, Susan.
Thank you.
Are there any concerned citizens or objectors to this case tonight? There are not. May I hear from the applicant? Good evening. Please give your name for the records first.
Brittany Kaup.
Hi. We want to question as to why it got built without a permit, et cetera.
You were kind of spot on when you asked. There's a lot of misconceptions with being zoned agriculture, whether you have to have the permit or not have to have the permit. People some get away with it, some don't, unfortunately. And we put it up, and then now we're trying to go in compliance with it.
Well, actually, you were legal putting it up. It just wasn't in the right place.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you can do about that except ask the contractor if he didn't understand what he was doing.
Well, there's two other buildings on the property that if you go further one way, I've got animals housed in it. And until this other structure was put up, there's really no moving that structure. Same with the one that's in front of it. So there really wasn't a much better spot to put it. If you go right there, you can kind of see. So the animal fence goes around the entire property on the south side there, and then on the east side as well. It was basically put there to give the animals more room to graze. And then, like I said, with the other two structures there, it kind of was hard to put it anywhere else.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Anyone else have any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
On case ZC 25 099 and V 25 137, I would like a motion, please. Pull your mic down, would you? Yes, we could hear you.
Mr. Chairman, motion for approval for case number ZZ 25/099 V 25 137, variance for animal confinement setback from 50 feet to 28 feet.
Second.
I have a motion and I have a second. May I have a roll call, please?
Kimberly Mitchell. Yes. John Kiefner,
Abstain.
Roger Bettenhausen,
Yes.
Louis Navarette,
Yes.
Karen Warwick,
Yes.
and Chairman Hughes.
Yes. All right, sir. You have a majority of vote. Or ma'am, I should say, pardon me for the sir. Next case is ZC 25-115/V 25-158. And like Van Patten will be our presenter.
So I'm reviewing zoning case 25-115. The owner of this property is Christina Jenkins. The application is requesting a variance to bring the lot into compliance to be able to build a single family house. Next slide. This image shows the zoning map with the subject property outlined in red. The subject property is within Money Township, located between South Doolittle Drive and South Murphy Lane. The property is zoned R2 with 87,184 square feet of area and 127.6 feet of lot frontage along Murphy Lane. The R2 zoning district requires a minimum lot area of 40,000 square feet and 100 feet of lot frontage. The subject parcel contains part of Lot 5 from Green Ridge subdivision platted on August 15th, 1978. Previous owners of lots 5, 6, and 7 in Green Ridge subdivision reconfigured these 3 lots into 4 parcels. The 4 parcels were created deficient in lot frontage along Murphy Lane. Next slide. This is a 2025 aerial image of the property. The subject property is unimproved. The applicant is looking to bring the property into compliance to build a single-family residence on the property. Without the variance, no permit can be issued as the lot is not conforming with R2 lot frontage requirements. Next slide. So this is the plat survey showing the proposed single-family residence. Next slide. And this is view looking west at the subject property, showing its deficiency in lot frontage. Next slide. This is a view looking southwest at the adjacent property, or at a adjacent property. Next slide. This is view looking northwest at another adjacent property. Next slide. And this is view looking east at the adjacent property across from Murphy Lane. Next slide. And this is view looking north down Murphy Lane. And then this is the view looking south down Murphy Lane. Now to go over section 1 in the variance standards review criteria, staff finds that the plight of the owner is due to unique circumstances. The property owner wants to build a single family residence on the R2 lot. The lot is deficient in lot frontage for the R2 district, which requires 150 feet of lot frontage. This is due to division of land from PDC-22-005 on January 21st, 2022. To build a single-family residence, the lot needs to be brought into compliance. Staff finds the variance, if granted, will not alter the essential character of the locality. Looking at the surrounding areas, there is 1 parcel, the parcel directly south of the property, that has received approval of a variance for lot frontage, and there are 3 other parcels or 3 other lots in the area that appear to be short on R2 lot frontage requirements. Next slide. And then looking at section 2, staff's professional opinion that the physical surrounding shape or topographical conditions of the subject property do result in particular hardship upon the owner, as distinguished from the mere inconvenience if the strict letter of the regulations were to be carried out. Staff finds the parcel was created with 87,184 square feet of lot area and 127.6 feet of lot frontage along Murphy Lane. This is after the county adopted a zoning ordinance that requires R2 lots to have 150 feet of lot frontage, making the lot non-conforming. The lot is currently unbuildable following the zoning ordinance regulations. This does not meet the minimum lot standards of R2 zoning districts. The variance the applicant has applied for will bring the lot into compliance and allow family residents to be built on the property. A staff's professional opinion that the alleged difficulty of hardship was not created by the person presently having the interest in the property. The property was created as a non-conforming lot by division of land from PDC-22-005 on January 1st, 2022. And per the recorded deed, the applicant acquired the property on July 9th, 2025. Last staff finds that granting of the variance will not be detrimental to the public welfare or improvements of the neighborhood. The applicant intends to build a single-family home after bringing the lot into compliance. If looking to build on the property, the owner will have to apply for a building permit and meet R2 setbacks. Next slide. And so staff is recommending approval of the variance, and I can answer any questions.
I have no questions. Anyone have any questions? Thank you very much,
I
sir.
just had,
Oh, wait, pardon me.
with only 127 foot in width or frontage, it's almost, how do you even position a house on that without coming back and asking for side yard setbacks?
Don't make a wide range.
So I
I guess it can be done. I just,
Is it 30-foot side yard setback or 50 for an R2?
50.
I see, not. I was thinking 10. I said, from what I remember from looking at the site plan, that what they propose is meeting setbacks from what I remember. And even if it doesn't, then, that's just proposed. There can be any changes to it since a building permit hasn't been.
If you look at the
Approved.
aerial, it looks like the two neighbors in the south have pulled it off.
Yes, and there is one built in the south and they just got variance for the lot frontage of the one to the south. There was no variances for setbacks, so.
And we just looked up the setback for the R2 district and it's 15 feet for a side yard. So they do have room for width.
Almost 95.
Thank you.
They could build a little shack.
Any other questions? Thank you very much. Are there any concerned citizens or objectors to this case here tonight? There are not, okay. May I hear from the owner or the primary contact? Good evening. Please give your name for the record.
Hello, my name is Christina Jenkins.
Thank you. We just questioned and we want to make sure that you understand that your lot is substandard for what you're trying to do, but it's recommended for approval because of the fact that it has in the past had other standards that it was allowed to be built under.
Mm-hmm.
So we were just asking that you know that you're going to have to get your contract and make sure that you have the sight lines, everything correct, because you're right at the edge of where you could go.
Oh, yeah, I
Okay,
do, I understand.
all right, that's all we wanted to do.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything that they'd like to say? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, ZC 25-115, B 25-158. Given approval by staff, motion for approval for a variance for lot frontage from 150 feet to 127.60 feet.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. May I have a roll call, please?
Mitchell. Yes. John Heathner.
Yes.
Bettenhausen.
Yes.
Louis Navarette.
Yes.
Karen Warwick.
Yes.
And Chairman Houston.
Yes, it's unanimous. You got it, thank you. Our next case tonight is case ZC 25 126 and V 25 170. And Kelly Krasinski will be our presenter.
Okay, so this is ZC 25 126. The owner and applicant is Equity Trust Company with Lynn Hankins with 100% interest. The applicant is requesting a variance for maximum accessory building area to construct a detached garage. This is a lot outlined in red. The parcel is located in Plainfield Township along Penny Lane. The lot is currently improved with a single-family residence with an attached garage and a detached garage. The applicant is looking to demolish the existing detached garage and construct a new 2,800 square foot detached accessory building. With this, the subject property will exceed the maximum accessory building area of the zoning district. Here, the subject property also can be seen outlined in red, and it's zoned R3 and is surrounded by other R3 residentially zoned properties. Here's the plat of survey of the property showing the existing structure and the proposed structure. The proposed structure is shown in gray towards the bottom of the screen. This structure will meet the rear and side yard property line or setback requirements of the R3 zoning district. This is a view looking north along Penny Lane. This is looking southeast at the subject property from the northwest corner. This is looking west across from the subject property. This is looking east at the location of the existing structure to be demolished and the proposed location of the detached garage. This is looking southeast at the southern adjacent parcel. And this is looking south along Penny Lane. A full analysis can be found in the staff report, but to summarize section 1 of the variance standards and review criteria, staff finds that the owner is not due to unique circumstances since the request is based on personal preference. The property owner intends to construct an additional detached garage for storage, which would result in exceeding the accessory building area. Staff also finds that the granting of the variance may alter the essential character of the locality. Staff found one other property in the area that received a variance for accessory building area. However, one variance request does not define area or the character of the area, and approval of another variance of similar scale could begin to establish a pattern, potentially altering the character of the locality. For section 2 of the standards and review criteria, staff finds that the physical conditions of the property do not create a hardship as the request stems from convenience rather than a unique site constraint. The desire to exceed accessory building area is common across all zoning districts. Lastly, staff finds that the variance would not be detrimental to the public welfare of surrounding properties. The proposed structure is proposed to meet required setbacks of the R3 district and will be required to obtain a building permit. Of agencies notified, there were no comments or objections received, but staff is recommending denial of the variance for maximum accessory building area from 1,500 square feet to 3,942 square feet. I'm happy to answer any questions, and I believe the owner and applicant are also here tonight. Mhm.
The other stuff, you know, what the square feet is of those that he's tearing down.
I don't believe I have the calculation with me, but I can look at it when I.
Those are torn down,
Mhm.
he needs to build this, that square footage still over.
It's not current, no, it has it currently is with the attached garage and the existing detached, he's under currently. So he's looking, so he's gonna build a much larger detached garage compared to the previous one. If I can go back to the plat. The blue underneath the gray is the existing garage. So it looks like it's 33 feet by 23.5 feet about.
So that would, so removing those structures and adding this new structure, he would within when the stuff is.
No, with the new structure, he'll be exceeding it. He'll be exceeding.
Those are left alone. But those are torn down.
Yes, he'll be exceeding it if, yeah, well, he's placing it on top of the existing structures. So he's kind of expanding it, but he's gonna demolish the existing prior to building the new one since it's gonna be placed in the same location. So he's basically kind of replacing it. So it's more of an expansion of the accessory building area. Sorry, does that make sense?
Have we any other questions? Karen and Kim, you got any other questions? Thank you very much, Kelly. Are there concerned citizens or objectors to this case here tonight? There are not. Okay. May I hear from the applicant? Good evening. Good, thank you. Please give your name for the record.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. My name is Lynn Hankins. I was up here about 10 years ago. We built this home. It's my retirement home. And the plans then was to expand and make it a cold storage so I can get my vehicles and equipment in there. As you guys discussed, the numbers are somewhat misleading, but true in the sense that I'm demolishing them and expanding. And plus the concrete pad is in that square footage, which initially I didn't know. So that, just to give you some insight, that it makes it seem a lot bigger than what it is. But as you know, I just don't have enough space to get my vehicles and keep the storage in. Also brought, not to create a trend, but these are photos.
Yeah, please speak into the mic as you.
We just keep them is all. You don't get them back.
Yeah, you can keep them all. I made copies for you, but these are photos of less than a block over with buildings and structures similar to what I'm having or requesting, then I hope I get approved. If you look on the addresses on there, these are, I'm on Penny Lane. The next street over is Ash. The 23650 would be this building with the address on it. It's very similar to what I'm trying to do, and that building was constructed less than a year ago. This is another one right next door to that same one that's in there, the 23660, also constructed. Got multiple shelters on it. Right next to that one, 23664, same multiple structures. I'm hoping that this brings more curb appeal and I'm able to get my vehicles in. And then this is the nearest one to me, where this property has 5 structures on it. So
The problem is, we don't know what the property area is on these properties.
I understand. I just want to let you know that's literally the street over from me.
Yeah.
And I don't know all the rules, and I seen there was all the variance that was noted before. And I'm hoping I have the ability to get all my vehicles and yard equipment under one roof.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Chairman, you did ask if there was anybody to speak on this case other than the applicant.
I did, and there was no objectors here.
I think you're gonna make it.
Thank you.
Normally, this is a pretty big thing. If there was objectors, I would be swayed somewhat, because it usually would be complaining about the water or something. But, you've shown proof of other residences and there's nobody here to object, so I'll be a yes vote.
Thank you, sir.
We have no other vote and no other questions. Thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and vote now then.
Anybody? Mr. Chairman, ZC 25-126, variance 25-170. Approval of variance for maximum accessory building area from 1,500 square feet to 3,942 square feet.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. May I have a roll call?
Don Kuchar,
Yes.
Kimberly Mitchell. Yes. Ira Bettenhausen,
Yes.
Louis Navarette.
Yes.
Karen Warwick.
Yes.
And Chairman Houston.
Yes, you're unanimous, sir.
Call the builder.
Call the builder, yeah.
Call the builder before prices go up anymore.
Our next case tonight is ZC-25-123/S-25-053. And Jesus Preseno will be our presenter.
Okay, yes, I'll be going over zoning case 25123. This is a special use permit for recyclable material drop-off facilities outdoor. The property owner for this property is THC LLC with Jonas Budrika as a manager and Almatas Rudzianis also listed as a manager. The agent for this case is Thomas Statskas of Statom LLC. As mentioned, for the applicant is requesting a special use permit to allow the current metal scrap business to allow customers to continue dropping off their metal scrap outside of the existing building. Here we have a quick zoning map of the property outlined in red. Subject property is zoned I1 and is 1 acre in size with 264 feet of lot frontage along an 189th place. The property is deemed a conforming I1 parcel. The property is located within an industrial subdivision. To the east, the property is within the village of Mokina and is zoned P1, which is their public, quasi-public, and conservation district. Here we have an aerial view of the property, again outlined in red. As mentioned before, the property is within an industrial subdivision with other uses such as a truck and vehicle repair, vehicle rebuilding, and various contractor shops. A metal scrap business currently operates from the property. This is classified as a recyclable material drop-off facility. An indoor recyclable material drop-off facility is permitted by rights in the I1 zoning district, meaning a special use permit is not required. If any part of the business takes place outside of an enclosed building, the use is classified as a recyclable material drop-off facility outdoor, which requires approval of a special use permit. The metal scrap business allows customers to drop off their scrap metal outside of the enclosed building. The property was placed in violation in March 2025 by code enforcement for having those drop-off bins outside of the enclosed structure. The applicants did attend a pre-application meeting with staff where staff outlined the process to obtain a special use permit. The applicant is now here applying for a special use permit to continue allowing customers to drop off the metal scrap in the provided outdoor bins. The outdoor processing of recyclable materials requires an additional special use permit, which the applicant is now requesting today. The bins will be emptied and moved inside of the building when the business closes. Here we have a plat of survey of the property showing the existing building which the metal scrap business operates from. And next we have a few pictures of property. First, the view looking south toward the existing business and the outdoor storage bins that the customers usually drop off their metal scrap in. Here we have the view looking southwest at the adjacent property. Here we have the view looking northwest at the adjacent property. We have the view looking west down 189th place. And finally, the view looking east down 189th place. Now to quickly go over the special use permits and review criteria, a full copy of the staff analysis for the special use permit is included in the staff report, but to quickly summarize, Staff finds that the special use permit will not be detrimental or endanger public's health, safety, morals, comfort, or general welfare. The applicant is applying for a special use permit to continue operating the metal scrap business while allowing customers to drop off their scrap metal outside. As mentioned before, the applicant is not requesting to have outdoor processing of metal scrap. Section 155-9.210 lists all the requirements that the business must adhere to, including the types of materials that can be accepted and the amount of time that the material can be maintained on site. It is the staff's professional opinion that the proposed special use will not be injurious to the neighborhood. The property is located within an industrial subdivision with other uses are currently operating from. The metal recycling business is a continuation of industrial uses that occur within that subdivision. Staff also finds that the special use will not impede the normally and orderly development of the area. The surrounding area is already largely developed with industrial uses as shown in the pictures. With that said, staff did receive comments from the village of Mokina and Frankfurt Township that were both sent out as a memo. The village of Mokina stated their opposition to the request due mainly to concerns with the village's long-term planning objectives, the floodway that runs through the property, and the potential of odors being carried to residential areas located nearby. Frankfurt Township stated in an email that their township board voted to recommend denial of the special use permit as well, after it was heard at their planning and their board meeting on January 12, 2026. However, the email did not state the reasons why they recommended denial. And with that said, staff is recommending approval of the special use permit with the outlined 4 conditions, and I'm happy to answer any additional questions.
Go ahead.
If I heard you right, you said they bring the material in every night?
Yes,
Is that required by the code or is that just what they've been choosing to do?
that's what they've been choosing to do. If this was permitted, if this was approved, they would be allowed to kind of keep those bins outdoors, but they did state in their pre-application email staff that they usually bring the bins inside for, I guess, common courtesy for their other businesses that operate from there.
And all businesses conducted with bins brought in, there's nothing put down on the ground, correct?
Correct. So these are movable, so they're allowed to move them inside. That's why they kind of do that currently.
Probably don't want them looted overnight
Correct, probably.
by scrap people, yep.
Yeah, so they do empty it, like except customer drop off their scrap in the bins, and then at the end of the day, the business does empty them inside the building. So it would just basically be allowing the customers to continue dropping off their metal scrap outside.
And the way I would envision this is kind of like a self-serve drop-off.
Correct, yes.
Does keep stuff from being thrown in the ditches and pollution.
Does it create any odor or debris flying around?
So for this one, I would imagine not, because there's basically just customer dropping off their metal scrap. Any processing that would be done would be enclosed inside it, as mentioned before. If the business was proposing to do any type of processing, which probably would incur more odors, that would require another special use permit, which the applicant is not requesting today. So they would not be allowed to process anything outside. It would just be gathering the scrap outside.
It says such a facility would likely generate nuisance conditions, including noise, unsightly views, and potential environmental concerns.
Correct.
If that was the case, we wouldn't approve any solar facilities.
We wouldn't allow garbage pickup in people's front yards.
So I don't know, I don't think they make a very good case.
Well, this says that Mokina is objecting to, because they wanted in I-3, not I-1.
Correct. Yeah, the letter did state that that's
And-
proposed use would better fit into their I-1, their I-3, I'm sorry, zoning district. But for us, it's currently zoned I-1, it just requires a special use permit in our zoning districts.
And Frankfurt Township doesn't give any reason for denying, they just say the board denies the
Correct, yeah, I just
zoning
received
request.
that email saying that they just recommended denial at their board hearing.
Okay. Any other questions for? Any other questions? No? Okay, thank you very much,
Thank you.
Jesus. Are there concerned citizens or objectors to this case here tonight? There are not. Okay. Is the applicant or agent here tonight? Good evening. Please give your name and
My name is Thomas Daskus. I'm the agent for the property owner and I represent the applicant, the business that operates as.
would you give your name also while I stand
Good
there?
evening, my name is Teresa Escalona.
Thank you very much. You heard the objections, so we're asking you to give us some reasoning why you think that this should go through.
Well, they've been,
You could raise the mic to suit yourself, sir. Yeah,
they've been operating a good business and it's a good, they have been very good tenant for us and they're clean. So we found out that we needed a special use permit to collect the materials outside in zoning approved metal containers, but they keep everything inside for the night. So it's not in anybody's way. The property is on a very industrial district and the traffic that they bring to the property is minimal. So, and rather than one of the board members mentioned, it's better to have it in a containers and business that collects scrap metal than all over the place where it doesn't belong and it pollutes the environment.
yeah. Oh, we saw all the trucks parked alongside your businesses up and down the road. So I think traffic is the minor thing to worry about in this particular circumstance. But have anyone have any questions? Yes, please do.
Is this just people wanting to get rid of stuff? Do you buy this stuff or is this like, I guess most people who want to drop off scrap want money for it, that's all.
I put it down. We pay for that. Yeah, we buy, when the people come, throw the metal and we pay. When we're done, we clean everything outside. We put on the big trucks and we make everything is clean out.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you very much. I would like a motion on case ZC 25-123 slash S 25-053.
Mr. Chairman, motion for approval for case number ZZ 25-123 S/25/053. Special use of permit for recycled material drop-off facilities outdoor.
Along with the 4 conditions. Second.
Okay. I have a motion and a second. May I have a roll call?
Kimberly Mitchell? Yes. John Keepner?
Yes.
Roger Bettenhausen?
Yes.
Louis Navarette?
Yes.
Karen Warren? Yes. And Chairman Houston?
Yes. Okay. Our next case tonight. Is there a next case tonight? Yes, here it is. ZC 25-128, S 25-055, and V 25-171. Marguerite Kenny will be our presenter for this case.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. How are you?
Good. So zoning case ZC 25-128 takes place in Lockport Township and it's vacant property on New Avenue in Lockport. This property has come before this commission a few times in the last several years. So this may be a reminder to some of you or look familiar. So the owner is Five Star Landscape Company, where Omar Benitez is 100% interest, and the agent is Bill Zalowinski of Advanced Consulting Engineers. He was not stated on the staff report due to my mistake. But the applicant, as mentioned previously, was approved for a special use permit for the outdoor storage and a variance for the fence height back in 2021, early 2022. The applicant applied for the necessary site development permit in 2023, but the permit was delayed in getting issued, resulting in the special use permit needing a couple extension requests, which were approved by the county board. And then essentially with the permit not being issued, the special use lapsed. So they're coming before again. The permit has received engineering approvals. Hopefully, if everything gets approved, zoning will finally be able to sign off on the permit and they would actually get their permit issued and legally establish their special use. They also came forward again for the variance for fence height, I believe, in 2023. So again, just for this commission's recollection, special uses have 2 years to legally establish the use with the issuance of a building permit. Variances have 1 year to establish. And typically for fences, we do not require building permits, but if they are working as part of screening requirements, things like that, usually they are shown in the site development plans and might not necessarily get installed until that permit is issued. So I have the aerial on the screen of this property. The property is an unimproved parcel. It's approximately 1.85 acres. It's on the east side of New Avenue with 400 feet of frontage. You can see the image on the right. It has significant grade changes. So the parcel is relatively narrow. It's approximately 117 feet to 192 feet in width. And with the grade changes, it severely limits the developable area, primarily to the northwest portion of the site. There are also some pipeline easements that further contain and curtail development. The property does not currently have any access to New Avenue, and IDOT would be issuing that permit. Again, I believe the IDOT entrance permit has been issued or is very close to being issued due to how long the site development permit has been in review with our office, and we do require IDOT approval to issue the permit. Regarding this area, Archer Avenue is stated as an IDOT project needing to be expanded. And in terms of this area, the Village of Lockport sees this as pretty much a gateway to their industrial developments further along New Avenue. So just the plat of survey on the screen. And then looking at the site plan, again, it's showing a future built maintenance garage on the property. Again, it's showing it is going to be meeting setbacks. So they are showing about 10 feet off the right-of-way line of New Avenue, the entrance culvert. With that building, again, they'll need a building permit for that. We would review for, minimum parking standards. But essentially what they are requesting for the outdoor storage is basically the concrete storage bins along the sides and then the gravel area in the center. With that, they would need some landscaping requirements, and typically outdoor screening requires some type of solid fence or landscaping material. So they are proposing a solid fence. And that would be locating within the street setback requirements, which is why they're requesting that variance for fence height. So they can secure the property. They also can assist with the screening. So looking at the zoning map, you can see the property is zoned I-1. That was the 2021-2022 zoning case that actually also rezoned it. There is a mix of commercial, residential, and other industrial uses along New Avenue and along Archer Avenue, State Street to the east. And then just looking at the Village of Lockport, City of Lockport, excuse me. The subject property is indicated by where that yellow arrow is pointing, but you can see they also have a mix of zoning districts in the area. So looking at the subject property, this is just looking north at the property, looking east, and you can start to see how much of that grade is changing. And then looking south, looking north and south along New Avenue, looking northwest across New Avenue, looking southeast. And then the applicant has an additional property further north along New Avenue. This is just a photo of that property. And mainly the reason why it was included is the city of Lockport just has concerns that the proposed property would look very similarly to this property, and they don't believe this property is compatible with some of the existing businesses they have. They have manufacturers, they have trucking companies that have buildings, they have offices, some are headquarters for certain businesses, and having just an outdoor storage without a building is concerning to the city, especially since New Avenue, both sides are considered kind of the gateway into their industrial area for this area. So the criteria by which the special use permits are analyzed is provided in your staff report, but I'm going to briefly summarize the key points of staff's analysis. Basically, as I mentioned, New Avenue is characterized by industrial uses. As I mentioned, we have truck repair facilities, trucking companies, refineries, manufacturing operations, both within the city of Lockport and unincorporated Will. The proposed outdoor storage yard is compatible with and similar in nature to these existing uses in the area. Many of the city of Lockport properties do have some type of outdoor storage associated with their buildings and headquarters. There are physical limitations to this particular site that should help mitigate any potential impacts. So again, they do have to meet the county's regulations in terms of setbacks, landscaping, screening, and all of that's going to reduce some of the area that's developed. I do believe there is shallow bedrock in this area, so it also will impact how much they can actually dig into the property. In terms of the initial operations, there's no physical or principal structure proposed at the time, but there is a condition saying that there should be some type of portable facilities on site that would allow any of the workers working from the site to access the appropriate facilities to accommodate restroom needs, things like that. The site development permit would allow this outdoor storage yard to operate while they continue on for the building permit, should that actually come to fruition in the future. The development would be required to meet the county's requirements, and that includes the water resource ordinances, the building code, the zoning ordinance, stormwater, things like that, as well as IDOT, the Lockport Fire Protection District, and Health Department regulations that come into play during the permitting process. And then in terms of the I-1 lot standards, we do look at setbacks, especially with the building. They're going to have to be set back according to the I-1 standards. The proposal meets all the criteria to the effect that they've submitted to staff and we've analyzed. So going forward, we do think it's a favorable request. Regarding the variances, again, staff previously has been supportive in recommending approval to these. So in terms of this, to just very briefly summarize, there are unique circumstances. This property, given the physical characteristics, the fence would provide screening and security for the site, but it does have to be located closer into the street setback. And then the essential character in the area is industrial. There's many properties along this corridor that have outdoor storage and perimeter fencing within that street right of way. So the request is within character. Regarding the second criteria, there are site constraints with the additional setback and additional regulations that reduce the developable area. So staff would consider this a hardship request. Conditions are unique to this specific property. The applicant seeks to operate the landscape business from the property and requires the space to store the materials and equipment. The parcel is difficult to development, and the variance allows the possibility for it to be developed for this particular use. And the proposed fence would be required to comply with our vision clearance site requirements. So again, there would be safe access to and from the public right-of-way from this location. Regarding the agency comments, the activity taking place from the Will South Cook Soil and Water Conservation District just stated that this particular use would have little to no effect on the existing lands. the EcoCat provided by the IDNR, Identified Protected Resources. It's the Heinz Emerald Dragonfly that may be in the vicinity, but further evaluation, they determined it would not have adverse effects on the dragonfly. And then the other agencies notified, usually the fire district, road district, did not provide comments. With that being said, staff is recommending approval with 4 conditions, very similar to what the requirements and conditions were prior to the prior special use, and then approval of that special or the variance. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Will they have to get a special use permit for, or a variance for outdoor facilities?
No, so having basically an outdoor portable toilet or something like that really would just be shown on the site plans. They would have to have a maintenance plan, and then I believe the health department would take a look at that requirement as well. And then once they come in for the actual building, I do believe it does have to be improved with water to meet commercial building codes, and that's where they would get like the more permanent bathroom facilities.
That's not a very deep property because of the inclination at the back.
Correct.
So they're gonna, whatever they're gonna have to do is gonna have to be very strategic.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Just a request that the municipalities could ask a legal objection on for the special use permit?
No, so with the special use, the best case scenario would be if they provided comments or concerns, they could potentially be added as a condition. There was some questions in terms of the fencing and having landscaping on the exterior side of the fencing, if that's contradictory to the city of Lockport, which typically has their chain link fences along the right of way and then have their landscaping on the inside of the property. The county would probably prefer to see the landscaping on the outside because it does dress up a fence and the property a little bit more, but it does have to be maintained. So
But they can't file a legal objection.
they cannot file a legal objection. It's simple majority vote. It's really, what comes down to it is if there's any additional conditions that could make this use more compatible, they could be added, but
You spelled it out, the terrain on the property, and I assume there's some floodplain or something. It just really can't hold many buildings, and so that's what they're asking. And one has to wonder if they'd like to just see better tax revenue than an outdoor storage lot, which probably doesn't give them really much tax revenue. And I feel for the applicant if they were able to file a legal objection, because they probably spent thousands upon thousands of dollars, and they're just being held up here. To have approved them once and then not be able to be approved a second time, I think it would be awfully dirty on our part, but, okay.
And they may end up, when they start to build, actually putting the building back in the side of the hill and giving themselves a certain ground temperature, 55-degree temperature, to insulate the building automatically on the backside, so. That's common in hill areas.
yeah. I do think based on the site plan, the building is actually going to slightly start going into that elevation change. I think the problem is just, I think it's bedrock, so it's very hard to dig in further into
Yeah.
that stone without blasting, and there are residential uses in the area and things like that. So I think they're gonna, from what it looked like on the site plan they're showing, is they're trying to use as little extreme construction on the site as possible.
And bedrock in that area has gas that they have to concern themselves with remediation, so. Okay, thank you very much. Anybody, no one else has any questions? Thank you. Are there any concerned citizens or objectors to this case tonight? There are not. Okay. Is the primary contact, Mr. Omar Benitez, here? Okay. Good evening, sir. Please give your name for the record.
Good evening. Bill Zaleski with Advantage Consulting Engineers in Lamont, Illinois.
Okay.
Everything that was explained was very detailed, exactly what's happening. Unfortunately, it's taken us 4 years to get to this level. There's 30+ feet of fall from the east property line to about the middle of the site, which is very restrictive. You are correct. The building will be minimum excavation because of the bedrock, and it will be probably pushed into the side of the hill a little bit to get as much room as possible. The building is proposed. We do have the IDOT permit. The bond has been set. Will County's engineering department has approved the plan. And unfortunately, because it's taken so long, everything is expired and we're back here in front of you for the same reasons we were before.
Okay, I understand. We will hopefully be able to remedy some of your problem.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions from anyone? No. Thank you.
Thank you.
On case ZC-25-128/S-25-055 and V-25-171, I would like a motion, please.
Mr. Chairman. I'd like to approve
Please,
the
please, pull your mic down just for the minute. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, motion for approval of ZC 25-128, special use permit S-25-055, special use permit for an outdoor storage with 4 recommendations.
Second.
I have a motion, a second. May I have a roll call, please?
Yes. John Kiesner.
Yes.
Roger Bettenhausen.
Yes.
Louis Navarette.
Yes.
Gary Warren. Yes. And Chairman Houston.
Yes. You have a unanimous vote, sir.
Mr. Chairman, same case, EC 25-128 for variance -25-171, variance for fence height within street setback from 4 feet to 8 feet. Second.
I have a motion, a second. Roll call, please.
Yes. John Kiesner.
Yes.
Bettenhausen.
Yes.
Louis Navarette.
Yes.
Karen Warren. Yes. Chairman Houston.
Yes. Okay. Next case tonight is ZC-25-130/S-25-057, and Marguerite Kenny will be our presenter.
Okay, so this zoning case, ZC 25130, takes place in Wilton Township. It is located in Wilton Center. The address is 29450 Cedar Road in Manhattan, and the applicants are Robert and Anna Cole. The applicant is looking to bring their legal non-conforming residential use of the property into compliance to expand their house, essentially. So looking at the aerial of the subject property, you can see the property is on the northwestern corner of the bend of US 52, as Cedar cuts straight down south, and then you have Arsenal Road, Joliet Road, kind of splicing through there as well. This property is about 0.89 acres, which is about 38,768 square feet. It has frontage along Arsenal Road, which with about 202 feet. And then Cedar Road has about 172 feet. The site's improved with a single family residence and a detached garage. The residence was constructed in 1938 and predates the county's zoning. In terms of this property, the access is through Arsenal Road to the south. And the property is located just northwest of the northern limits of the county's planned reconstruction of Wilton Center Road, which is Cedar Road in this area, which actually extends south to Wilmington Peatone Road to the south. This area does see a lot of traffic, mainly because US 42. And Arsenal Road sees about 225 daily trips, but then Cedar US 52 is where the traffic really comes into play. So looking at the zoning map, you can see this area is a mix of estate residential, single-family residential, and this corner is still zoned local commercial, so it's zoned C2. It is not located within any facility planning area, which is usually municipalities that kind of envision future utility needs is what a facility planning area typically is. The property was originally zoned B1. So in 1947, the county adopted zoning and it was zoned, local business. At that time, the zoning ordinance allowed for residential uses to be on commercial, assuming they probably had a commercial component to it, but you also could live on the site with your business. In 1978, the county decided that was a bad idea. They stopped allowing those two uses to go hand in hand. And since then, the house being used residentially has been a non-conforming use. In September of last year, the applicant submitted a building permit to expand their existing residence. In order to expand, they have to bring the non-conforming use into compliance. So that's the county's sunset provision for a non-conforming use essentially. And so that's why they are here. They are able to apply for a special use permit for a non-conforming use, provided that they are showing that there's a need for this within the county. And it is very well known that the county does have a housing need, and allowing them to continue to reside in the property and use the property residentially, which is how they have been doing it, to continue on is a good notion in terms of zoning and the county need. So this is the applicant's first request for the special use, and if approved, it would run with the land and apply to the entire site. So looking at the subject property, this is just the survey. You can kind of see the existing house from 1938. The hatched area is what they're proposing in terms of an expansion. And then they have a typical detached garage, 22 by 24 towards the front area along Arsenal. So looking at some photos of the property, this is just looking north at the property from Arsenal Road. This is probably the southwestern corner. This is looking almost from Cedar and Arsenal. So this is the southeast corner. And then this is looking west along Arsenal Road. This is looking south across Arsenal Road. This is looking south along Cedar. And then this is looking along Arsenal Road and then towards where it actually intersects with Cedar Road and becomes Joliet Road. And then this is looking north along Cedar, US 52. So in terms of the criteria with the special use permit on the screen lists the criteria. The staff report has the in-depth analysis, but to briefly summarize, the residential use has existed on this application or this location approximately 88 years. It's within a well-established and highly developed Wilton Center, and it's primarily residential in character still. The continuation of this residential use would be consistent with the existing land uses in the area. The expansion of the residence is to better accommodate the current needs of the applicant. And since the residence is existing, there's adequate utilities, access roads, drainage, and other necessary facilities for this. And the proposed expansion would further require any additional updates or upgrades to be added in order for them to get the building permit for this addition. In terms of this property already has access from Arsenal Road, and Will County DOT will prohibit any access from Cedar Road in this area. So with that being said, the proposal satisfies all criteria shown on the screen. In terms of the agency comments, none objected. In terms of the EcoCat obtained from IDNR, there are no identified resources in the area. DOT just has some concerns with some existing parking that are occurring in the right of way along Cedar, and it would prefer that it gets removed. But in terms of the existing access, they don't have issue because they don't have jurisdiction over Arsenal Road. It would be the township, but they would not be granting any access off Cedar, and the applicant is not proposing any access off Cedar. In terms of the recommendation, staff is recommending approval of the special use for a non-conforming use for a single-family residence with 2 conditions. And that's all I have. I'm happy to answer any questions.
I have no questions. Anyone have any questions? Thank you very much. Are there any concerned citizens or objectors to this case? There are not. Okay, is the owner applicant here? You don't have to come up unless you want to, because there's no objectors. And we have a
Mr. Chairman,
recommendation from staff to approve.
given recommendation from staff, motion for approval for ZC 25-130 whoops. Oh, yeah, S 25-057, approval of special use permit for non-conforming use, single-family residence. With the 2 conditions as noted by staff in their report.
I have a motion and a second. May I have a roll call?
Kimberly Mitchell. Yes. John Kiefner.
Yes.
Roger Bettenhausen.
Yes.
Bruce Navarette.
Yes.
Karen Warwick. Yes. And Chairman Hughes.
Yes. You pass unanimously.
Next case with a special use permit. I started treating special use permit. No, special
Our last case tonight is a TUP, the TUP 25-011, temporary use permit for weddings and events, and Brian Radner will present the case.
And Mr. Chairman, I guess I'll abstain from this because I believe all the other years I abstained because I do have a business interest, however, very minor, but we have a full commission, so I'll just abstain.
That's always a good idea when you've got a business interest anyway.
All right, give me just a second to pull this up. All right, this is temporary use permit 25-011. It is a temporary use permit for weddings and events. And this is in Wilton Township. The applicant is 15839 West Doyle Road LLC. And behind the LLC is Leo Dallaire, who is here this evening. Give me a second to. This is an aerial view of the property. Let's see if I can make this a little larger. It's outlined in yellow, and Doyle Road would be on the north side, and Gauger Road is on the west side. The building that's on the very south side of that property is where the weddings and events would be held. And I should mention, this is the 3rd year that Mr. Dallaire has requested this use. A little bit closer view of the property. You can see the green roof building is where the weddings and events take place. This is just a survey of the property. This is Mr. Dallaire's site plan that he provided with his application, showing the building and the parking areas that come off of the his driveway there, his gravel driveway on the south side of Doyle Road. You can see by the zoning map that this is primarily an agricultural area with some estate residential uses, but everything in this immediate area is zoned agricultural. This is a photo of Doyle Road. The entrance is on your left-hand side in this picture. This is a photo looking south towards the subject property. This is the north side of Doyle Road. A photo of where the parking area is on the property. And this is just a photo of the building from Gauger Road. I do have 9 conditions on this temporary use permit. These are the same 9 conditions that have been on the temporary use permit the previous 2 years. I want to point out that since this business has been operating, which is generally May through October, we have received no complaints. They have complied with all of the requirements of the fire district and the county land use department. So we are recommending approval of this request. And Mr. Dallaire shared with me this evening also that he's been recognized for having one of the top wedding venues in the area. So that's really good. And we're glad to hear that. If you have any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
I have no other questions. Anyone on the staff? No? No questions. Thank you very much, sir. Are there any objectors or concerned citizens to this case tonight? There are not. Is the applicant here? We have no objectors and we have a recommendation of approval. Would you like us to vote or would you want to come down and make a comment? Okay,
Mr. Chairman?
yes.
NEP-25-011 would make a motion for approval of temporary use after wedding commitments with 9.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. May I have a roll call, please?
Mitchell? Yes. John Kiepner?
Abstain?
Bettenhausen?
Yes.
Bruce Navarrete? Karen Warwick?
Yes.
And Chairman Houston?
Yes, you're approved.
We technically didn't have business interests this year. We traded.
Now, I presume that we have no executive session, but you want to make announcements, correct?
So there have been, 2 cases brought before large solar panels. So being that they're so large, there is a facility at JJC that the applicants would like to attend and have our meeting there as a special meeting.
The main campus and
On Bogle.
Oh, okay.
So it does seat 400 people. And the 2 dates in mind, one is March 6th. Would start at 5:30. And the other March 18th on Wednesday. Now, these dates are only if they have completed applications. Time for us to work. So, with that being said, should they fulfill these 2 dates, we need to know that we have a full committee that will present the cases, and B, that we have a committee that is able to vote these cases. We do have over 200 variances that are being brought before you, and the 2 special use permits for
can we clarify the dates? You said March 6th and 18th?
March 6th, which is a Friday.
Okay, yeah, on Friday. I was, okay. Goodbye date night.
Which is a Wednesday.
So, yeah, but it's the day after St. Patty's Day, so don't come with your head tucked under your arm, you know?
So
These would be the only cases for the night then, too.
Correct.
Okay.
So one of the cases is in the Crete area, and then the other case is various townships, which would be Patton, Garden, Wilton.
Probably Frankfurt or Green Gardens involved too, you know?
Maybe not. I was told that none of the properties is in Lincoln Way School District. But yeah, I don't know the exact boundaries. So all Frankfurt Township and Lincoln Way? Probably.
No, but
No, you would know this better than me.
Frankfurt Township shares 2 school districts.
Okay. Goes up to Stager.
So I could submit to you PIN numbers. Set of addresses. And I could submit it to you that, because, we need a quorum.
I'm available either day. I like the Friday the 6th better than I like the
I don't think it's,
18th.
they have to be heard with the time specification. So they are projecting these.
And I can shed some light. So the March 6th would be the project that's more focused in the Crete, Washington, Moni, and Will Township area. So that would just cover that particular zoning case, the variances for that. And then the 18th would be the one that's the Manhattan, the Green Garden Township, and Wilton Township project, which would be the larger project. But again, it allows being on site. The
Are you
residents to-
suggesting that we should take both days or what?
They would be separate. So we have two large solar and we're foreseeing separate nights for each of these cases.
Okay.
So it's a possibility we can meet 4 times that month.
Maybe.
Because
With
we'd
the
also-
18th, we would be meeting the 17th if we had cases for the normal
Except
workload.
17th is St. Patty's Day, so you probably won't meet on the St. Patty's Day.
Well, if we have to work, we'll be here.
As of now, do we believe we have cases for the 3rd and 17th?
We're not
That's
quite
too-
there
that's
yet
too
for the
far out, yeah.
17th.
You
Yeah.
haven't gotten the Applications.
Both of these will be at Governor's Fair.
No, so the applicant is willing to meet closer to the project areas to kind of help alleviate some of the commute times for any residents who want to come and state their concerns, as well as elected officials and, the commissioners. It's just, those were the dates those venues gave them. So we're trying to see if our commissioners are available those dates. If
Would you
want to meet.
repeat the times and the dates and where these meetings are taking
So
place?
Governor's State would be March 6th at 5:30.
5:30, okay.
Again, this is very tentative, but at least looking at your calendars, if we know you guys are available, that helps us lock in the deal a little bit more when their application is complete. March 18th at 5:30 could be at Lincoln Way West.
Both of them will be, or just March
Just
18th?
one. So the first, March 6th, Governor's State.
Governor's State, okay.
And we're thinking keeping the meeting time at 5:30 because it seems like you guys can make it with making it here. And then March 18th would be the Lincoln Way West location
Yeah.
and also start at 5:30.
West will be where, in the auditorium?
I believe so.
Okay. Because I think, if I remember correctly, you guys can correct me, but auditoriums are one end of West and the gym is on the other end, right? Yeah,
And I believe with Governor's State, it would be, I think, their performing arts building.
okay.
So it's a large venue that has the auditory capacity, and I think both of them would have the audio visual capabilities that we would ask for a public hearing.
We're not even certain on these. If it takes 2 more weeks to finish up the applications, we're falling into April then, aren't we?
Potentially.
We just decided to try to book a trip to New Orleans in April. Or end of March. So I guess,
I'm going to Governor's State. A little far for me and, depending on how late we would be there and.
Is this the same applicant for both the Crete?
Yes.
Okay, so like.
you can't vote for either one, then, can you?
Well, I don't know. I know that on the 18th, I have a
He's
conflict.
of interest with the Green Garden one. He's one of the landowners.
Not that I'm
Maybe.
I'm surrounded by it, okay? I don't have anything to do
Oh,
with
so
it.
you don't have property in it then?
No.
Okay.
But I've got it on the west, the east, and the south, so I'm surrounded by it. So technically, I would imagine that's a conflict of interest where I can't vote yay or nay. I don't think I can even comment on that particular.
Is that true?
How would that be if he's not?
Because that would mean I couldn't vote on a piece of property next to me.
No, I don't think you could, actually.
Actually, you
Never heard
can't.
that in any of the training.
No,
They,
you-
the training even said I could vote for a relative member that wasn't a direct sibling as long as I didn't have a financial interest in the case.
Right.
Or the other, so your vote is not.
I don't know.
And you could, and you're restrained the same way. If you have a business dealing with them, you can't vote. But you could vote to your next door neighbor's property without a bit of problem if you don't have any business with them.
Is that your lawyer that's advised you that, or is the
Yeah,
county's?
he did.
Your own lawyer?
Yeah, I haven't talked to county, but, and even the Crete, I don't know, it's the same.
Chris,
same
what would be your opinion?
I don't know.
Okay, that's fair.
I'll have to, let me take a look at the issue and get an opinion.
And
So I don't think this ever happened.
the solar companies actually threatened me about not being able to participate, so.
Yeah, there's a certain conflict, I can understand that, but no financial interest, but still, that doesn't mean, that's not the only way you can be conflicted. I don't know. I'll just have to take a look at what the law says.
Can I expand that just a little farther then? Because when I first came on this commission, I know there was a lawsuit up north being filed against, I guess, the PZC and the county board. If he was to do a vote or something and be sued by this company or anybody, are we covered under the county, correct?
Yeah, we get $1 million indemnity.
But we don't even have to hire a lawyer unless we chose to. We have county representation.
He would represent you for, yeah.
The problem is they start out their lawsuits with $3 million nowadays.
Yeah. Unless you step out of line and commit some kind of, crime.
My point is, we're already down one commissioner. I can't participate, that puts us down to 5
Yeah,
commissioners.
and Kim doesn't come.
You're down to 4.
I think some of the concern is just capacity, because we know from experience with the last one, we were almost at capacity and we filled this room, we offered the committee room here. So if these are bigger projects, the one in Crete's about the same size, the one in Manhattan's about double that. So we figure there's gonna be a lot more people coming out. But this would be the official public hearing, so if they want their voice on record for the case to go forward, they would be here to comment.
And I can almost guarantee that it'll be televised.
But there's gonna be 10 or 12 of you that have to travel. Would we be within our right to say, find a place downtown Joliet?
I mean, we did consider JJC for both. I think some of the questions is regarding the project location. Does it make more sense to meet halfway and actually go kind of in the area of those projects
That would.
to save the
that would
commute
put
time for
Lincoln way
the
back in
residents?
Play.
Well, it does make sense, just like it made sense that time there was 60 people here. I asked to move their case forward. But then the one applicant had children and they had to wait till 11:30 to have their case. And I felt like a complete jerk afterwards. Because I really screwed the other people that were earlier on the agenda. They had to sit through 3.5 hours of testimony.
You know what? You always take your chances when you come here, what time your case is gonna be anyway. If you're the last case, you're the last case.
I mean, it does come down, you do have say too on the location. We're asking to get better information so we can go back to the applicant to pinpoint locations and.
Let's stay, got an Uber for you. Pick you up and took you home.
Yeah.
Well, you can Uber Black. I've heard of it. I know a little bit about it. My son's kept me in the know.
Well, Governor State for Kim is exactly across the county link. I mean, you're starting in Shanahan, right?
All 422 miles wide.
Yeah.
Exaggeration, of course.
Is there going to be a time limit for these meetings? Because I'm guessing that one for Green Guard and that's over with 6,000 acres with between 200 and 300 variances. I don't know how you get through that and then listen to all the objectors that are going to be there. I mean, you're going to be there. I don't
I
know.
think in terms of the rules, you could potentially limit public comment regarding the cases, kind of how you have in the past. But in terms of hearing everything, you can postpone or continue the case if it gets too late. We just have to make sure we kind of plan for it and have a publication where we encompass maybe 2 dates like we did the last time, and we didn't need the second date, but just plan for maybe 2 nights, either concurrent, like following each other, or a week after, where we could potentially postpone. But some of the concerns is just the publication for the time of the meeting. We need to make sure we have
The
that
announcement for these
accomplished.
meetings is going out to the general community, or is it strictly going to be held to the adjacent landowners?
So it goes to the adjacent landowners, and then it will be publicized in the newspaper. The one at Governor's Stake will be in the Gazette. One will be in both papers, the Gazette and the.
Okay.
And we know sometimes people mile even come from over a mile.
Well, the townships are very well aware of both of these projects. So I'm sure the townships will keep any concerned residents apprised. You'll have any municipalities within a mile and a half get notified, public agencies, road districts, they get notified of the zoning request.
Maybe in your announcement, though, you could add a statement saying that we would welcome and recommend any group to bring forward a single speaker to come for the group's concerns.
So you've been doing this quite well, saying, like the first 3 people, you don't have to come up and repeat everything. Can we poll the audience, say, how many of you are opposed because of this, this, and this, and get a show of hands? Can we do that?
In the midst of trying to work something out. Like 130 who only want to talk about traffic and safety. That once we get there, we'll find out.
In the grand scheme of things, it's just a shame we have to sit here and listen to this, but it doesn't make any difference when it's all said and done. Vote yay or nay. It doesn't make any difference. It's just a waste of time, but Springfield says we have to do it.
So then the other issue is if we had to continue the meeting, we have to hear it within 45 days. Does that mean just start hearing it? Or do we have to have the conclusion within?
It's concluded within the first 60 days, or when the application is complete, you have 60 days to complete the public hearing, and then they have 30 days for the county board to hear it.
It was not quite an answer. I appreciate what you said, but it was a little dance, I think.
I mean,
So we want to get it done in the first.
We want to get it done as quick
haven't
as we
had a
can.
problem, meeting the 60-day date. I think the question is if we did have a long session that we were tired, we wanted to adjourn for the night and continue it to another time, we have to make sure that that second part is within the 60 days as well. And that the conclusion is completed within 60 days. I believe we do. Okay.
So we know we won't have 4 meetings.
Yeah.
That being said, so in your positive no for Governor's State, anybody else? Roger, I want to say you're a no, and you'll be very welcome if our state's attorney says yes.
Yeah.
But that's huge.
You might just get the flu that night too, though.
Then do I have a for sure for a governor?
As long as my chauffeur will drive me, I'll be there.
I could make it for sure, but
I'm in for both.
Say, let's do a new
long as you have four commissioners, basically.
So you're asking us if we should force them to come to Joliet, though?
Well, we're gonna bring that to them, what we're talking.
Right, but if you have the preference for Joliet, I mean, that's something we can tell them too.
I do somewhat care about you folks. You gotta drive. Well, but I know not everybody lives in Joliet.
If you have it, they might listen to less comments if it's here or near here. I mean, if you have it right in the middle of that, you can count on a huge.
I think you're gonna count on a huge crowd. Cars.
But she's right. It may trim it down 5%. Who knows? But yes.
Where would you hold it in Joliet? Joliet East at the auditorium or?
No, that. Juco has a little spot downtown. Yeah, something that holds 300 people at least.
Yeah, that's why I said Joliet East at the auditorium, because I know they hold that quantity of people without any problem.
I'll do whatever.
Have you ever done anything like live TV? That was right here, there, they, you could listen from there? I could, I don't know, like, I don't know, what you call that? Yeah, like, yeah.
Teleconference.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, our meetings tonight, like we do share, somebody could go onto WebEx and be listening to the meeting tonight.
But
It
they
does
can't
not appear
test
we
it.
have.
They allowed us to
But they
teleconference
cannot
during
participate.
COVID, but not, they stopped it right after COVID. They
State
stopped our
statute.
permission.
You're still doing it in the courthouse.
Yeah, but they stopped our permission right after COVID. That's why I said,
Well, the state statute may not allow it.
I thought the state did.
Stopped it for the courthouse.
They allowed it for COVID because they didn't want,
They're
Well, I know,
different.
but I'm saying it's still being used in the Will County Courthouse.
well, I'm not arguing with you. I don't know that fact. All I'm saying is I'm not arguing with you. All I'm saying is that they stopped it for us.
They don't allow us to do it.
They stopped it
If
here.
if what he's saying is, yeah.
I would
If-
say if they already got those dates set, and those, venues set, as long as you have four commissioners, that's all I agree.
Yeah, in my case, I mean, I should be good unless work told me I gotta leave town for traveling, classes or whatever, but other than that, I'm good to go.
You don't have to recuse yourself from these, do you, John?
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for the information. We will,
We have a motion. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
wait a second, she said she's got another thing.
No, she asked for a motion to adjourn.
Did you ask for a motion to adjourn? Okay. We have a motion and a second. I don't know who made the motion. Karen did.
Motion, I second.
John seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're out of here. Thank you, folks. It wasn't too bad.